Blasphemy.
Freebird. Coming to you not quite live from Peanut Desk Studios, a Bad Day Workers production. I am Sascha Saintevic. With me is my co-host, Briano Hawk. Briano, what's up?
Not much.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, it is our first podcast of the year.
Do you have big things planned for 2016?
Not at all.
Not at all. You're just going to bring it like every year.
Yep, pretty much.
See how it goes. All right, be fitting for the new year. Let's zoom in on a topic that actually inspired the show somewhat, tangibly inspired the show. I have for a while, I remember every morning when I drive to work, I do turn on the radio just to have sort of a background noise to tune out all the traffic and everything else that pollutes my earwaves all the time. And I cannot for the life of me figure out what the purpose of morning show radio DJs is. Now, when I say that, I understand the talk shows like AM stations and things like that, and FM stations that are geared towards more talk radio, what they might have. But I'm talking about FM stations that would normally have music, but in the morning they instead have these long, drawn-out people who are talking. It's always, one host, and then he has a co-host, and it's usually, a guy and a girl. I don't know why they make that dynamic, but that's just how it is. And then they have a producer or one or two that sort of play the lovable or not so lovable buffoons. And they talk about silly things like what's trending on Twitter, or they'll play games that have nothing to do with it. And I think what irritates me most of all is there's something about the fact that you have these people on the radio station in the music industry, in some sense they are connected to the music industry, that don't really seem to know anything about music at all. They don't really discuss music. They just kind of tell you what's happening on social media. They tell you what's going on, on Facebook and Twitter, what's going on in pop culture. And I'm thinking, why is any of that on a music station? Maybe I'm just being a grouch in all this. And if I am, you're welcome to tell me. I don't know whether you agree or disagree. We actually haven't had a deep conversation about this in any time, so it might be interesting to find out. Now, do you think that there is a purpose to morning show DJs at all? Or do they annoy you as much as they annoy me?
They pretty much annoy me. I really don't see the point of them. There are, I guess, certain radio stations that need it more than others because they're crap radio stations as it is. But really, I don't see the point of having any sort of, morning show DJ who, talks about social media or does, stuff that has nothing to do with music when you're trying to listen to a music station. I think they should be on a talk radio show on a station that just does talk radio, not a music station. So.
No, I understand. And the way that they put it is usually they'll discuss things like what's going on in Taylor Swift's life. Okay, great. Wouldn't people prefer to hear their music again? And I'm not trying to tell them what kind of music to play. They don't have to play things that I enjoy. They probably wouldn't. They'll play top 40, pop songs or whatever. But I just don't see the point of the formula that they have going. I don't see who this is appealing to, if anybody. People just seem to just sort of accept it. I don't see who's I really need to listen to that morning show, DJ, jock, whatever. Talk about, who knows what annoying crap. And it is probably, if they had discussions about music, the way we're a talk show in a sense. Yeah. We're a music talk show because we discuss music, but we don't really play any music, mostly for copyright purposes.
Yeah.
Add that little thing in there. But we just discuss music because we're music geeks and these are topics that we like. If they had something like that where they go into detail, they interview people about the music industry, even when they interview musicians, it's usually really dumb things like, who are you dating? What's going on in your life? Oh, when's a new concert coming out? They're just sort of selling when the concert comes out. They don't really give you any new bits of information. I think that's what irritates me most of all. It's just filler for nothing. And they do this day in and day out, and I don't see any quality to it, and I don't see any purpose to it. And I know it sounds a little bit harsh towards people who might be in this field, but I don't think they have the chops to really be where they are, because there are many talented people who could occupy those seats and who could engage you and who could have a conversation on us and from whom you could learn something from. Instead, we get these people who are interchangeable from station to station. They can go from any genre of station. There are country stations, there are hip-hop stations, there are rock stations, pop stations, whatever, alternative stations. These DJs, they pretty much change every couple of years. They go from one to the other. And the reason they can do that is because the topics that they discuss on the shows have nothing to do with the station they're actually on. They're nothing with the kind of music they're on, or any kind of music. It's always, like we already said, what's trending on Twitter, what's happening on Facebook, what's happening in X musician, or not even always musician, celebrities' life. I can find out what's trending on Twitter just by Googling what's trending on Twitter. I don't need you to tell me, do a drawn-out 40-minute conversation about it.
Yeah, that's true. It's pretty stupid that they go the route they do and that they do talk about what they talk about. I mean, you can keep up with what's happening in the Twitterverse or any of that stuff just by Googling it. Yeah, like you're saying, quite easily. Now you did mention that some of these talk show hosts or early morning show hosts or whatever are pretty much interchangeable. Yeah. First thing that comes to mind is that Bobby Bones guy. I believe he was on a hip hop station for a while, and then he moved on to a country station. And he was all about that hip hop when he was on that hip hop station. That's all he talked about. He's like, yeah, the hip hop. Now he's straight country. That's what he's always loved for all his life. He's a country guy. He plays country music. It's like, well, when did this happen? A few years ago, you were all about your hip hop. Now you're nothing about hip hop. It's all country, and that's all you do. It's all you've ever done. That's a lie. So yeah, that whole interchangeable thing I think is pretty accurate. I think it's stupid that they have these talk show hosts do what they do, and they waste time, and they're pretty much throwing money in the trash for paying these people because they do stupid things. Prank call on people and calling businesses and setting up appointments because the business is trying to make money. They're trying to do what they do. Mm-hmm. And these people are making prank calls to them and trying to set up appointments and stuff. And, eventually, the business will realize like, oh, these people aren't going to give me money. They're just, making a fool of myself or whatever. And I think that's just completely messed up. So it creates a lack of authenticity. Like, I can't take these people seriously, partly because I don't believe that the personalities that they present are real. I don't believe that what they're saying is in any way the real reflection of themselves, because they'll kiss ass to anybody who comes on the show. Like, they can make jokes about, they could make jokes about Vanilla Ice in one segment. If a week later Vanilla Ice shows up to promote whatever stupid crap thing he is going on at the moment, they'll be like, oh, it's Vanilla Ice, we're so excited. I was a big fan of his. Nobody was a fucking fan of Vanilla Ice. Here's the thing. We don't like Metallica. We'll say it openly. You bring Metallica into our tiny little studio, talk to me, I'm still going to say, I don't like you. I don't, not like personally, although some of them I don't actually like personally, but I don't like the music, and I'm sure you'll do the same thing. I don't see that level of authenticity anywhere on any morning show DJ. I think that they're full of crap. I can't trust them because they will, whatever, especially like they can't piss off the advertisers for one thing. Yeah.
They can't piss off the artists who might show up on their show at some point. So everything that they say is really safe. So you get nothing real out of them. You get nothing enlightening from them. You learn nothing from them. And the reason why a lot of people still tune in is like, well, what's your alternative? They're all doing it, like from whatever the time is 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's all that there is.
Yeah, pretty much. That's actually, I think it's from like 5 or 6 in the morning till like 12. I mean, there's hardly any station you can tune into that's not going to have a host doing something unless you have like satellite radio of some sort, or you tune into Bob FM, which I don't know if they ever have any hosts, but they play music. But they do play music, which is like, okay, I can appreciate the fact that I'm turning on the radio station to listen to music, and music is playing. There's not some idiot talking, in a British accent, or in a southern whatever, some just stupid sounding person trying to do stupid things and think it's funny or sound intelligent. They don't sound intelligent. I don't see the point of them being there. I think they're wasting time, and money. And yeah, like you made that statement, there are people who could take up that seat, and you can become educated by what they're saying, and because they'll be knowledgeable in what they're doing. I mean, I think a music station should have people talking about the music, not about the Twitterverse or any of what's happening in social media, or who's dating who, or making a prank call and whatever else. I think they should just talk about the music, what's happening, what shows are coming up. They interview artists, do things like that. I think that's what they should be doing, not what they are doing. Trying to be funny.
It's a music station.
Make sales.
Yeah, it's a music station. Stick to the music. I mean, and they sort of, though, I don't know, they relish in this atmosphere of ignorance that they sometimes create for themselves. And let me explain what I mean with that. They create personas. A lot of them sort of create personas of these. They want to present themselves as slackers, present themselves as somehow just these bums that got on the somehow end up on the radio. And you think a lot of that is just personality. They want to be the every man or every woman that you can relate to. But I gotta tell you, sometimes when they have especially when they have these stupid trivia shows, I don't know why they put themselves in that trivia segments where either they compete against people who call in, or for some odd reason or another, they'll have and the topics have nothing to do with music most of the time. It's there was the station here in the morning, 101X. Am I allowed to say it? 101X. Jason and Deb in the morning. I don't give a fuck if they sue me or not. I doubt they can. I just said the name. They had the super true thing, and it was down question World War, famous dukes that died in World War I or something, and just relative history questions that the host was asked to see how much he knows. And I don't know whether he was competing against somebody or what. I switched too soon to really get the full context of it, and then I don't really care to tune back in. They don't know squat about shit. They don't know anything, even about topics they don't have anything to do. I don't see what puts them in a position to know anything, to talk about any topic, let alone music alone. Anyone can really do the job. Maybe they need to know how to speak on the airwaves or something. Maybe if they can speak in complete sentences, you pretty much can be a DJ host is what I'm getting. And I'm sure there will be, there are going to be people who are well, you don't see the behind the scenes stuff, people who worked up, people who got educated. I'm sure none of that hard work is translated on the airs at all. Yeah. And I would still rather hear the music. I have no problem with the DJ who comes on between the songs and introduces stuff or lets you know what's, updates you and stuff about the station, what they're doing or stuff like that. Even if they have some sort of a drive happening, I'm fine with that. I don't give a crap. But it's when they take away segments that could be devoted to music and when they just go straight for this dribble that amounts to nothing. Do you think, though, I think a lot of times people, the reason why they do is why advertisers and stations do this, it's because they don't think that people would tune in. For some reason, they might go to our MTV conversation that we had earlier. Why is MTV now mostly just TV shows with no music? Because maybe they don't trust that people would tune in. I think that if you give them that alternative, people will tune in and they will listen because they'd rather, to the morning commute to work, they'd rather listen to music than they would listen to this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is maybe it's just us who have the problem with it. I don't hear people complain about it that much. I mean, at my job, people enjoy listening to it and they're laughing at what's happening and stuff. And I'm sitting there like, what the hell is happening? There's stupid, conversations and stupid things happening on a music station when I'd rather hear the music. I don't want to listen to someone talking. If I want to hear someone talking, I want to, I'll have it on a talking channel, a talk show, radio host, whatever. Rush Limbaugh or any of that stuff,
Let's not go there for.
No, I mean, he's
I know what you're saying. Limbaugh, Stern, whatever you're.
Yeah, I would rather listen to Limbaugh than Stern. I mean, Stern is just like trash upon trash. It's just, I can't believe that guy is even famous. I mean, he has stuck his foot in his mouth so many different times, and he said he's never done it or whatever. And I mean, it's like saying he who hates all the TV shows that like we were talking about
and he ends up on
I mean, no,
America's Got Talent.
No, he said the whole thing about he would never be one of those people on shows or who were music competitions or any of those competition shows because it's stupid people and blah blah blah. And he got offered enough money, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I like these people. I'm one of them." And he was like, "No, you're a stupid idiot. You're just a little money whore as usual. You do stupid things on the radio, and because of it, that's how it spread to all the other ones, from my opinion, because they try to follow that, but they have to go a little bit more PC about it because they actually have a plan they have to follow, and it has an actual music station. So
you think this?
It's. I think he started this whole crap in a sense, in my opinion, and it's
the downward spiral. Well, you think that's just endemic of radio DJs, because their jobs have become a bit. Radio has declined.
Yes.
Their jobs have become a bit irrelevant, grand scheme of things. Like no one really cares now. You can create your own playlist, and this goes back to what I'm sure someone's going to say as soon as they read this topic, as soon as they hear us, bitch and moan, as they will put it. Well, don't like it, don't listen, turn it off. Okay, don't like it, don't listen, turn it off. Then you can't really complain about anything at all.
Yeah.
Like nothing allowed to upset you. I mean, to me, that's like the laziest form of criticism. Here's the thing: you don't like this conversation, don't like it, turn it off. Like this is something I know. This is something that caught my attention and it irritated me. I want to talk about it. If you don't want to listen to it, you don't have to listen to me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, you go back, what is it, 60s, 70s and stuff. I'm not from there, but I don't think they really had this morning talk show hosts, DJ stuff on music stations. The DJs would actually discuss the albums that are coming out, new artists, things like that. That's how the word spread about artists. The Beatles, it was, some fan was like, "Oh, I love the Beatles," and they kept calling into a radio station. The radio guy listened to it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm throwing this on." It wasn't, "Oh, well, payola, or I have to wait for this to, single for the music company to tell me to play this." He's like, "I bought this album. I think it's a cool album. Here's the band." He throws it on, he plays it, and that's it. They got big in America. They were already big in England, but they're, got big here. Same thing, through tons of stuff. I mean, the black artists and before it got mainstream for like the blues and the soul rock and stuff like that, like
Motown.
Yeah, Motown, stuff like that. I mean, like all those black artists that people keep pushing this, like, "Oh, well, it's because of these guys. I got these Beatles and Stones to tell you straight back, Muddy Waters and all that stuff." They didn't get played. Even Elvis. They didn't get played on the radio. They got played, in the background, some maybe super late night, and they, black host got lucky enough to get on the radio, and they got there, or they're in a nightclub and someone heard it and a white artist covered them and, whatever. But still, there wasn't talking on the radio in a sense, from my understanding. They introduced artists, they told you stuff. Some of the DJs were like, "You know what? I'm going to be racy in a sense. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to throw on a black artist." Yes, I keep saying black because
black is unoffensive.
No, I keep saying black because that's as they were put in the music industry at the time. Now it's like you can't just, it's like, "Oh, it's a black artist." Okay, why are you mentioning that? It's just an artist.
If you really want to go down the pedigree of it, all music is sort of black music. all modern genre music you can trace back to some level of influence from Southern artists.
But I try not to go off too far off topic or tangent too long. But I mean, like I was saying, I don't know because I'm not from that time. I'm not from the 60s and 70s. I wasn't born there. And I didn't listen to radio then. But I don't think they had this morning talk show crap that they have nowadays. I think they should go back to, this is what we are, a music station. We're going to play music. We will talk about the artist. We will have interviews with the artist, but we're going to talk about the music and we're going to play the music. We're not going to have a 10-hour shift, or in a sense, not really it's that long, but still
4 to 5 hours.
Well, it's long freaking enough. They shouldn't even have an hour-long thing of people talking and doing the crap they do. They should
15
have
minutes.
They should have absolutely no time put towards that. They should only have the artists. I mean, the DJs talking to the artists, the interviewing artists, talking about upcoming shows, talking about the music business in a sense of what the listeners need to hear, and not like, oh well, the music business is making blah 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 sales, and this is how you make the album. I'm not talking about that. I mean, I'm talking about this like, okay, well, November 3rd, there's a show at this place, blah blah blah, and we're gonna have an interview coming up in a week. Comes down to the station or listen to our station, so
you
on
can
and so
learn
forth.
something.
So you can learn something about the artist
be
and learn
entertained at the same time.
yeah, you can learn new artists, you learn different things. I think that's what it should be like. But the fact that no station does that, even when their music is playing, there's hardly any station that will ever do that. I haven't heard a station do it yet. Yeah, they'll have interviews with some of the artists, but they're not like, the whole time talking to the artist. They're like, oh, you're doing their funky whatever, making prank calls. And they're like, oh, yeah, stay tuned. We're going to have, this artist show up. And they have like 10, 15 minutes to talk with the artist. And then that artist leaves. And then that's it. They go back to their wacky stupidness.
Yeah. And I know that these shows were almost always, since the inception, they were always about, before this December time, this decline, back when it might have been a little bit more relevant to the music industry, it was always in some way, shape, or form about promoting music and even promoting artists. So I'm not even saying like they should challenge the guests that they have on. Although I would enjoy something like that. I know some people wouldn't. People wouldn't want to come on shows if they're going to get grilled. So I'm perfectly fine with them presenting artists and music, in correlation with the industry, the record labels and things like that, trying to get them, just get their voice out there and tell you about the upcoming album. At least that would have something to do with the greater scope of the music industry. I would get why it's on there. Even if it's not something that's of my taste, I would understand why it's there. But I am just, and I believe so are you, just baffled by why these shows exist. And it's not because people like him. I have never heard anybody really get excited about that morning show, DJ show. Oh, you got to check it out.
Nobody have, which is sad.
Okay, I personally haven't. You have different experiences, I guess. I've never met anyone that I can take seriously in my life. Better?
Yeah.
Never met anyone I've met seriously. Go on and on about how much they got anything out of it. They got anything about the prank calls. I mean, the source that you can get that from anywhere else. There are shows just devoted to prank calling. There are shows just devoted to talking about social media. There are shows just devoted to pop culture. Shows just devoted to, pop culture criticism or analysis.
Yeah.
You don't need it on your morning radio.
Yeah.
That's the only point I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no.
I don't see why it's there. I don't understand it.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is I agree with that. It's stupid that it's there, but apparently that's just what they call for nowadays. That's what you have to have. If you're a new station, you're gonna have a morning show because that's what you need. It's a stable. That's the lineup. You have 5 or 6 in the morning till 10, 12 in the afternoon. It's the whatever show, and then you start playing your lunchtime music thing, and then it starts going into your late afternoon request stuff, and then you have your late night whatever stuff, and then it goes back into the talk show again at freaking 5, 6 in the morning. It's the same thing over and over, and no station does it any different. Whatever you tune into, it's going to be the same damn thing. I'm glad now that there's music apps that you can listen to radio, and they don't have these morning shows that some do. I mean, yeah, you can still catch the morning shows. I mean, if you listen to 101X on iHeartRadio, you can just go and listen to the Deb and whatever thing. It's separated, but you can also skip listening to that and just like listen to whatever music you want. And then when the live music starts, you start flipping on that one.
Well, what does that tell you though when they separate one from the other on their own apps, on their own? So like, what does that tell you? Like, obviously people they can get by just showing their music. I have no problem with them hosting a podcast on the radio website, and then they can upload it to whoever wants to listen to it.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not that they actually separate it, because if you listen to it, like if you listen to the live radio stuff, it's playing as if it's on the station. Thing is, you can go to the back catalogs and you can listen to other stuff. You can keep changing around and find stations that actually don't do that.
Well, but I mean, like when they upload it.
But being the fact that now that there's like iHeartRadio and Spotify and all those different things that have music playing and you get to choose what you want to listen to in a sense, you have a little bit more options of, okay, well, I'm going to listen to, my morning stuff, which is, more light country or light acoustics or lighter, rock. Then later on in the afternoon to get my energy up, I'm going to listen to more heavier stuff and more, faster beats of, techno or whatever. You can do that now with those apps. Was it not even 5 years ago? I don't think you could even pull that off. iTunes barely started doing that like 5-7 years ago, maybe. So, and you couldn't really listen to it, free. You had to pay for the damn songs, and it was pretty stupid.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah, and I mean that's a whole different topic there, and how much iTunes has ripped off.
We'll get to that when we cover on apps people
and
stay tuned.
And all that. So that like I said, that's a whole different topic. The thing is, I mean, now the fact that there's apps that you can listen to the radio and whatever station. It's not like I can only listen to local stations. No, I listen to what is it, the 94, the Buzz in Houston.
Yeah,
I'm not in Houston.
The Buzz.
But I'm listening to it.
They have a morning show too, though.
Yeah, but I do listen to it every once in a while just to see what's there. But I also listen to international stuff that's live radio in a sense. So I do like the fact that there are apps now that you can listen to all sorts of radio stations, even in the same genre, just different stations, and see how they're doing it and see what they're playing. But really it doesn't matter because they all play the same damn thing and they all have the same format. So I like the fact that if I don't want to listen to a damn morning show, I can turn on whatever the hell I want. Listen to my station of, Purple Pumpkins, station, which is just the mix of like classical and everything else, has no talk shows. So, I think that's kind of cool, the fact that they have that nowadays. But I don't think they should still have freaking talk radio, no matter what. They should get rid of it and replace it with people talking to artists and playing the music.
So listen to what you're saying now. Is this conversation coming a few years too late then, since we do have other alternatives and we do have other options? Or are we just sort of on principle saying, this is a ship that needs to sink, and just let it die off with it? Because we do have plenty of other options, but not for people who just have a radio in their car.
No, that's the thing. Nowadays the cars are getting smarter, so you can have a little bit more change. You can put your iPod, put your whatever play MP3 player or whatever the hell they call it nowadays. You can put that stuff in there, but you also have CDs. We've had those forever. But yeah, I think the fact that we still have talk show radio hosts and all that junk, I don't think we should have that anymore. I think we should get rid of it. As much as it, people enjoy it or whatever, that supposedly enjoy it, I really don't know. I've only met a couple of people. Most of them are pretty damn stupid. They're like, no, I've had people come up to me, oh, have you heard the show? They did this on it. I was like, well, that sounds stupid. Why the hell am I going to listen to that? If I listen to the radio, I want to listen to music, not people talking. Like I said, I don't want to hear some stupid ass British person, trying to be funny, and it's not funny. It's not funny at all. I'm sitting there like, well, that's quite mean. What the hell? And you won't like it if you get a freaking prank call, about your job saying, oh yeah, I need this done, blah blah blah, and then you get them to try to say, whatever word by the end of the conversation. It's stupid. You shouldn't have that. It's wasting the company's time. And they could be putting that towards making money on another client, not wasting their time talking to some stupid radio personality who probably can't even walk straight or, wipe their own ass, take a crap or whatever. Can't walk and chew
bubblegum at the same time, damn it. Here's the thing though. A lot of people say we're being mean and unfair to us DJs, but on average, a lot of these DJs, their shows, it's like the biggest collection of assholes you've ever met in your life. And maybe they're not like that in real life, or maybe it's just the way that they're pushed by the producer to be. But their shows are often mean-spirited and sometimes downright insulting to the people who are listening.
Yeah.
Not just insulting to intelligence, but like to the people who they prank call and things like that. Well, and the way they get away with it is, it's a show and we're just having fun, and everybody loves it. And I'm sure some people do enjoy that sort of stuff. But that's why I don't feel bad about talking trash about them. Because in general, then these are lovely people.
Yeah. The thing is, I have actually met a couple of radio hosts in person. They're stupid. They are not funny. They're not whatever. They're not the most intelligent people. I've met them in person. I mean, my brothers met them in person, damn near broke one of their foot because she's so damn clumsy and stupid. She damn near breaks her own toes or breaks her feet or breaks her whatever all the freaking time. And you know who the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm not going to mention anything. But yes, I've met them. I've met people, and they are not the smartest people. I don't see how the hell they got a degree in whatever they have to be in communications, I guess, to get in a show like that. I mean, I know why they are in a show like that, and they're not doing something actually educational or something actually intelligent, because they are not intelligent people. And yes, I'm gonna rag on them until I freaking die. I don't care. It's stupid. I'm probably been the most passionate in this one episode on getting on my little tangents.
I love it
because of the fact that this is just something that annoys the crap out of me. I can't stand these idiots who are making money doing something that's in the music business, and it's nothing to do with freaking music. They're sitting there talking about crap.
And I know that people who are gonna listen to gonna be like, who the hell still listens to FM radio anyway? Like, what is the point of that? And so to answer that question quickly, some people do still enjoy it, or at least they still tolerate it, because there's something about having a random list of songs come up that you might not have heard in a long period of time. When you make a playlist, though, you kind of, even if you shuffle it, even if you make it better, you know which songs are on there. There's something about the surprise element of it. Like, you don't know which song's going to pop up. Maybe it's a song you like, maybe it's a song you hate, maybe it's a song you haven't heard in a long time, and a song you forgot about. So that's why just a quick thing, that's why.
Well, that's the thing is, I mean,
that's the appeal
radio
of it.
Used to be, for me at least, I like listening to it when they're actually playing music, because I'll hear stuff that I haven't ever heard, find new artists, or I'll hear something old that I haven't heard in a while. And I was like, yeah. But nowadays, even when the music is playing, it's the same damn song on every single freaking station in a slightly different order, and that's basically all it is. You can change through all the, like, say, alternative rock stations, and you're going to hear the same damn song at least 3 times before you go through the whole list. Mm-hmm. Probably within the first 5 stations, you're going to hear the same damn song at least, 3 times. And you'll be like, you'll catch one song and it's like, oh, I haven't heard this one in forever. And then you switch to another station and play it again. You're like, oh, crap, never mind. I've heard it 3 times now. And, it's just stupid. The fact that they do not change the format for every station. And every station thinks that, oh, no, we're different, we're alternative, we're blah, blah, blah. And they're playing the same damn thing. It's the people that are giving them money. Yeah. I mean, the 101X is supposed to be like an independent, alternative station with plays different things. Only time they play anything different, I think, is at like Saturday or something, like 10 or 12 midnight, and it's local bands. Or I think Friday night, something like that. I think Saturday night is the metal, which is like an hour or 2 long. And it's like, okay, but it's still radio friendly, kind of stupid, whatever. But at least it's something that was like, all right, cool. They're changing it up. And
that might be unavoidable. They're going to go where the money is and whoever pays it. So I said, like, I understand when they have to talk, have the talk segment, and when they talk to artists, when they talk to about their albums, I know it's a promotional tool. The reason why the artist comes on is because they know they're going to be promoted. Yeah. They know they're going to be pushed. And that irritates me a little bit, because I like a little bit more friction between, like, I like artists getting challenged. I like anybody getting sort of questioned on certain decisions. But I get that that's not the way it works. I would love if that's how it works. But
I do think that you shouldn't play it safe, but you shouldn't invite an artist on your show or on your station and then, drag on them. No. You're inviting them because you actually enjoy them. You want to promote them. I would never invite Justin Bieber or Metallica or Guns N' Roses or any band that I don't like onto a show just to try to play nice with them or to rag on them. So I would just invite people that I think should be promoted and bands I actually like and stuff I'm into. So, I mean... Sure. And if an artist shows up and they're being a douche, I won't be nice about it. I was like, hey, you're being a douche. You think you're better than whatever. You're not. I've seen hell of a lot more talent, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Right. I'd be straight, honest with them, but I'm not going to pull them on just to be mean to them in a sense,
Right. And when I mentioned, like, if Metallica was sitting here in our studio, I tell them that I'm not a fan. It would I don't mean like I would yell at them or something unless they really unless they are dicks or douches, but I would just let them know I'm not really a fan of your music. Here's why. I'm not asking to defend yourself or anything, but just so you know where we stand. It's just that it's the fakeness of when they're talking. A lot of these DJs, they can talk to anybody about anything, and I don't mean that as a compliment. It's because they are blank slates. They're so bland. They don't have any. I don't think they have any real thoughts about. I don't think they're allowed to have any real thoughts about the topics that they do discuss. Even the really lame pop culture stuff, they just sort of go off script a lot of times. And when they don't go off script, they always seem really unnecessary. Everything that they do and everything that they say. So I don't see the point of this profession any longer.
No,
and I don't mean radio DJs when I say this profession. I'm specifically talking about morning show FM DJs. Like I'm not talking about DJs as a whole. I'm sure you can eliminate them and just put music on a loop if you wanted to. But I could still see some defense for some people. It's nice to have a voice talk to you. Every once in a while. It feels more personal. It feels more engaging. Same thing with like, why do we have news anchors? They don't investigate the news, but they just report it. There is something about having a person speak to you.
But
the DJs in the mornings, like, I don't see any purpose for what they do.
I mean,
at
that's
all.
the thing is, if they're doing something that, like I said, like we've said multiple times, that was more educational, more towards the music and stuff like that, then I wouldn't mind them. But I don't want to put up with 4 or 5 hours of them talking and not even talking about music, but talking about their social media thing and whatever's happening in social media with whatever artist and whatever Miley Cyrus just did, or how many times they've broken their toe, or any of that crap. I'd rather just like, okay, here's the artist that we believe, whatever, blah blah blah, it's a local artist or it's a new artist or whatever. We're gonna have them in the studio and we're having to talk with them, blah blah blah. You should go promote them or support them, go to their show, buy their new album, blah blah blah. Done.
Or the simplest thing of all. And our next song is
play
the song.
I mean, I don't mind them talking. It's just talk about music. Talk about things that are actually in the music business.
Seems relevant to the station that you're on.
Don't talk about crap and your dog's fecal matter.
And look, and if somebody asked me, should a show like ours be on FM morning radio? No, because we mostly talk. We don't belong there. That's why we have a podcast. We have a podcast, and we specifically put it's music discussion. We discuss music.
Yeah.
If that's not your cup of tea, by all means, and don't listen to us. Like we're not about we don't hijack off.
Jack off.
Yeah, we do that. Well, we don't hijack off the backs of like a radio label or some other brand like a radio station.
Yeah.
In order to get our views. I think a lot of people listen to it just sort of anticipating for the talking to stop, for the music to start. They're like, okay, this is just something I have to go through. And I don't think they should have to go through that. We could just go ahead and just play the music and maybe have a few hosts talk here and there about the music.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a better world for us all in music land. There would be peace and candy everywhere.
Anyways.
It would at least calm us down.
Yeah.
And you want us calm.
Sure.
All right, did you get all your question out?
I think so. I think
it's a good start of the new year. Do you feel rejuvenated now? Do you feel like you've come?
No, I think we should actually talk more about this topic later on.
We'll have a project.
We don't want to
if we get a lot of
any more than what
if we get a lot of backlash, we will address that backlash in the second.
If we get a bunch of backlash, hopefully there'll be some artists that actually can stand up for themselves, and we'll actually bring them on, and we will see how well they can stand against the.
You guys are just butthurt.
The discussion, and not go into that. Oh well, you just don't like.
If you don't like it, turn it off. If you don't like it, turn it off. If you don't like it, you turn it off.
No, seriously. I mean that. Yeah, if there's any people listening to this and you have a discussion, you go ahead. Be mean about it. I don't care. Send a email to our station or whatever if you need to.
Find us on Twitter.
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter.
We'll tweet about what's trending on Twitter.
Yeah, you can send us a message on Twitter and if you're local. And attractive female. I'm kidding about that.
If you're local and attractive and you put out easily, contact Briano Hawk.
Hey, shut up. Anyways, we're way off topic now. So
Well,
I think
we're getting ready to wrap up. I mean, we'll probably talk about this some more after the film stops. But for now, we'll say our piece. We'll say goodbye for now.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick this back up probably sooner rather than later. See you guys later.
See you.